This one's for all the lovers out there and lovers of rom-coms. Netflix on Valentine's weekend brought us the third and final installment in the To All the Boys trilogy now. It's Always and Forever. Hey everybody, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my channel. And this is my first really 2021 movie review because I've been doing catch up so much on the 2020 movies, and there's still a bunch to catch up on, especially with the Golden Globes recently announced. So I have a lot of forthcoming videos for 2020 stuff, but I decided to sort of get a jump start here on my 2021 reviews as well, and we're going to do a few just in this week alone, and they're all going to be standalone reviews. I've decided to sort of do more of the standalone style review, so they're easier for people to find and just sort of watch and enjoy that one movie. Now, the 2020 ones, as I'm sort of wrapping those up, those will still be in 3 movies, 4 movies at a clip. But for 2021 and on, hopefully, we're going to do a lot of the standalone reviews, and this one is no exception. So we're looking at To All the Boys, Always and Forever. This is the third and now final film, I guess, in the trilogy on Netflix. This started in 2018 and got very good reviews, both critically and from the Netflix audience, and it was one of Netflix's biggest, at the time, original movies. So they put into production very quickly the second and the third. The second premiered last year, and the third premiered here on Valentine's weekend 2021. But 2 and 3 were both filmed together at the same time. The third one sort of in secret, so people didn't really know what to expect, and then all of a sudden they announced it and then they dropped it on us. So if you are unfamiliar with this series, that's actually okay. I think this movie actually does a pretty good job of bringing people up to speed, and there's maybe a few ancillary characters that sort of come into play here in sort of minor storylines that maybe you'd be like, all right, well, I don't really know who that is, but they sort of give you all the background that you need. So I only saw each of the other 2 movies once, and so that means the first one I saw 3 years ago. I don't really remember all of it, but I gave it a positive grade. I gave it a B+. I remember the basic plot line of it. But I didn't need to really get refreshed on what was happening to enjoy this film. Now, the second one has taken sort of a bad rap, I think, from the critics and the audience as well. Even fans of the series, the book series, the first film, they did not care for the second movie very much. I thought it was all right. I actually gave it a B at the time. I think that might have been a little high looking back, so maybe B- is a little more appropriate, but I still enjoyed the film. But it certainly had some flaws that the first one didn't really cover. So this one is actually a nice return to form to that original film, where we're focusing mainly on the 2 stars and their love story. So the stars of the film are Lara Condor and Noah Centineo. Noah is, a big Netflix dude now. He's done a lot of these movies. I first caught on to him in the Freeform series, The Fosters, but then he started doing this movie and Sierra Burgess as a Loser, and all of these movies that came out around the same time on Netflix, and he's done pretty well for himself in that regard. Now, Lana Condor, Netflix wants to stay in the Lana Condor business. She will be starring in a new Netflix show that just got announced. It's in production right now, called Boo Bitch. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Boo, I think of Boo as like a Halloween thing, but then there's also Mean Girls, is that famous line where Regina George says, "Boo, you whore." So it could be something like that. Boo Bitch certainly has a similar connotation. So we'll see. But obviously Netflix very happy with Lana Condor. And so she plays Laura Jean Covey, and her boyfriend have been dating now since the first film, and they've been going through a lot of stuff. He plays Peter, Noah Centineo, and they're now going through senior year. The film starts out with Laura Jean and her family, which includes her one sister, Catherine, her other sister, Margot, her father, Dan, played by the great John Corbett, and also their neighbor, Tina, who is going to be their new stepmother by the end of the film. They're sort of engaged when the film starts, and she's played by Soraya Blue. And in Soul, they sort of are reminiscing about the passing of their mother years ago, and sort of reconnecting with each other as a family and all that, and sort of thinking about, for Laura Jean, where am I going to go to college? What's going to happen? So there's a couple of conversations there. Then we go back to the regular America world. I don't know what state they live in, but whatever it is, I think it's somewhere in the New York-ish area, because the bulk of the plot is about how Peter got into Stanford and she did not. So the big crisis is, do we want to spend our time together? Do we want to keep being together if we're going to two different schools? So Laura Jean is really having sort of a crisis of, what do I do here? I love this man. He loves me. Can we make it work? And it sort of goes from there. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, as all my new movie reviews are, so we're not going to go into any more detail than that. But that's basically the big crux of the storyline. And they also throw some other things in the mix, such as Peter's deal with his estranged father, who, by the way, is played by Henry Thomas, the great child actor from E.T. We still see him showing up every now and again. He's in The Haunting of Bly Manor, actually, as well, on Netflix. But he plays the father here in a couple of scenes. And, this could have been something that may have seemed inauthentic, may have seemed shoehorned in. Oh, let's, give this guy a dad, complex, and he's really, bummed about missing his dad while he was growing up, and this and that. But in the context of this movie, it feels completely genuine. And I think that is somewhat a tribute to Noah Centineo himself as an actor. I think he nails these really cutesy romance scenes very well, and I think he also does well with the more emotional stuff, both with Laura Jean and with his father. I'm excited to see where he goes from here, because when he came onto the Fosters, it was more like, all right, he's kind of a pretty boy, and he was also taking over the role for somebody else. I don't know what happened to the actor that played the kid originally, but he went away for a couple years to whatever it was, military school or something, and then he came back and he was Noah Centineo. But so he sort of was taking over a role. Here, he's basically, over 3 movies, made Peter his own thing. Now, this is based on a book series. I don't know how authentic these films are to the books. I really don't. But, word is that the first movie is very authentic to the book. From there, I'm not sure. But what this series, and this film specifically, as the first one did, excels at, is the chemistry between these two leads. You really believe everything they're going through. You root for them, and you root for both of them. This is a struggle that, albeit you've seen it in a lot of movies before, certainly of the high school variety, we're going to college, 2 separate places, what are we going to do with our relationship? That is, an old story, tale as old as time. But in these hands here, and it's a tribute to the writers, I think, as well. Katie Lovejoy, the main screenwriter here, and she really brings out these realistic emotions, I think, in these characters, and not just with them, but with the family, with the new stepmother coming in, and she's trying, to find out what's going on with Laura Jean, but not overstep, and there's some great things with that. And then the friends that we sort of shuffled off to the side in the second one, they make, a bigger impact here, as they did in the first one, to just sort of put a pin on their characters. There's nothing too fancy or crazy about what their storylines evolve, but it was nice to sort of see them again, as they were kind of shuffled off to the side in the second one. And there's a part in New York City here where they're going on a field trip, and that is all very nice. And when we think now, with COVID and everything, it's probably very, very, very hard to film something on location these days. And here we get that because it was filmed before COVID. One thing that I did find kind of a shame was that they do graduate, at the end of the movie, and so it's this, and it says 2021 right on it, 2021 graduation, and all these people close together, no masks, because of course they filmed this before COVID, so how would they know? um, so that sort of stuck out to me as like, oh, that's kind of a bummer, but I'm glad COVID doesn't exist in this world. I'm glad we didn't have to deal with that as one of the plot lines, and I appreciated that. Overall, I think this is a good return to form for the series from the first one. So I leave the first one with that B+. I think the second one, my B might have been a little high, like I said, so maybe B- is more appropriate. But I think this third one, To All the Boys, Always and Forever, I give this one a B+ as well. I think the main storyline about the going to different colleges, I think that is sort of overdone for sure. But this movie really does keep it authentic, and I definitely got a bit emotional with some of the scenes, and I think that's in really a tribute to the two lead actors doing such a great job, and I look for great things from both of them as we move forward here and away from the All the Boys franchise. So thank you for watching. Did you like this movie? Did you like any of the ones in the series? Have you seen the first and second? Let me know what you think about any of these movies in the To All the Boys trilogy, and we'll be back next time with another movie review. Thank you so much for watching. Dan reviews it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.